What's going on, everybody? It's Ty with the Triple Threat Bet Podcast. It's Thursday, 7 p.m. You've made it here. Thank you very much for watching. And be sure and like, subscribe, follow. It helps the algorithm if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or if you catch it on Spotify, be sure you like, subscribe, and follow, and share it to somebody else. We want to make sure we thank last week's guest, Drew Hernandez, came on, waxed poetic about a lot of stuff. This week, we got Navy veteran William Huff. But before I turn it over to our senior chief moderator, let's see what Matt Johnson's got going on.
Well, I am the senior chief moderator, so it's been turned over to me, basically. Just so everybody knows, Al Hero's out doing dad shit. Don't everybody pass out. He does love his kids, despite all the rants he has on here. So he'll, everything's cool. I'm sure he's not very happy, though. He's probably pissed the whole time. So I would be. Anyway, welcome. Thursday. We're back. We're glad you're here. Like Ty said, when you go into Spotify, you need to go ahead and like and follow the podcast so that way we can, continue to move forward. I'm excited for today's conversation. It's going to be a good one. And from that, Ty, I think since Al's not here, don't you have a few things that you'd like to share with everybody?
Yeah, absolutely. I do want to talk about, let's see if I can get it up here. There we go. Much better. Yeah, I did have the chance to go to the Air Force and Army game this past weekend in Colorado Springs. It was really cool to be there with my wife and 12-year-old son, Tatum, and her sister's family, CJ, who was a Navy submariner, their son, Alec, and both Alec and Tatum, the cousins there, they have aspirations of possibly going to the Air Force Academy. Their grandfather, my wife's father, so my kid's grandfather was an Air Force class of 1970. So it was really cool to do that. And then I also got to spend time with a Gold Star family, the Cribbins. That's Joe and Lee Cribbin. They're the parents of Stephen Cribbin, who I served with in the 561st MP Company. Deployed a couple times with him. We got to watch the Game 7 of the World Series. So dinner kind of turned.
What a disappointment.
Were you disappointed?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you wanted Toronto to win?
Of course. I'd rather Canada win over LA. You know what I mean? Come on, man.
Yeah, well, I get that. But I just thought it was.
Although I do like Ohtani, man. That he is a great baseball player. It's hard to not like that dude. Yeah. Santa Claus showed up too, all the way from south of the border, huh? And he left the beach to come hang.
Yeah, no doubt. For sure. And I mean, great game. So breakfast or dinner kind of turned into breakfast the next morning at Waffle House with the Cribbins. We got to tell a bunch of stories and really excited for what James McComb's going to be doing with them pretty soon there. Yeah, and also want to talk about Operation 22-0. That's our friends over at Camp Comrade. I got a message today from Mr. Wetzel Drake, and he's talking about the 22-0, the 0522 Choose You ruck marches. So they're going to do 22 miles a month. I signed up for it today. I donated on behalf of the Triple Threat Bet podcast, and so I'm going to be out there doing 22 miles a month. That should be fun. Get my ass out and start moving.
Wow, sounds good. Let me know how that works.
That's about all I want to talk about. But yeah,
that's good, man. That's
what's been going on with you this week,
dude. I've just been busy. I feel like I'm riding a train that's out of control sometimes, but we keep it under control. We got to do what we got to do. Got a lot of deliverables, got to get them done. Just ripping and running, helping out. Fleet Week in Houston was canceled. Thanks to everybody who's not voting to keep the government open. I don't give a shit if you're red or blue. You guys are all keeping it closed, and you just messed up our fucking Fleet Week. So appreciate that one, by the way. First time ever in Houston. We knew it couldn't have come, right? It wasn't going to come. Anyway, there's some amazing veterans that are still going to host an event this weekend that was supposed to help kind of kick off Fleet Week. It's Vet X is going to be out in Houston this week. It's going to be around where they're doing a lot of the FIFA World Cup stuff, and so we made some T-shirts for those guys. So if you go out to their event this weekend, Vet X, go check it out. Go say hi. A whole bunch of content creators, video game stuff. They're just showing veterans all kind of stuff that they can do to get involved. That people think you got to do things a certain way, but there's other things you can do to pass the time. So go check those guys out at VetX. There'll be some people out there. If you need to talk to somebody and get some help, there'll be somebody out there that can do that for you too. So they're offering some services, and they're offering just a good time for everybody out there. So go check them out. That's the true definition of turning lemons into lemonade. Even though it was canceled, they still find a way to make something happen out there. So it's pretty exciting to see.
I mean, that's kind of the modality of veterans is if something happens, you got to stay Semper Gumby all the time.
Yep. And it's good to see that they're doing it on the other side, right? We're really good at Semper Gumbying on the military side while you're in, right? You don't have a choice, but it's good to see the group of like-minded individuals still carry on that tradition, even though they're out, and show people that even though, things don't go as planned, you can still make it work no matter what or where or if you're in or you're out, you know what I mean? So it's pretty good to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And while we're at it, talking about ourselves, I want to make sure to go to sameflagsameoath.com, support our contest that we're doing for these 3 shirts here. Of course, the black shirt represents the Texas Veterans Athletic Association. The blue shirt there in the center represents Project Zero, and then the green shirt on the right, that's Our Heroes shirt. That's PTSD Foundation of America Camp Hope right here. And
I love all the organizations, but I just want all y'all out there to remember and take note of who's been AWOL or UA more out of the 3 of us. And y'all still buying his shirt. Is that because y'all feel bad for him? I mean, come on now.
Oh, so you're telling me that everybody's still buying? Is Al still in the lead?
Yeah, he's still in the lead by a little bit, but here's the thing. I know the government shut down, but here's the deal, though. I know all you veterans still got that disability check, so you guys got some money to buy a T-shirt. Don't play no games. Go buy a T-shirt. You want one, and it's to support causes that help veterans. And so, I mean, come on. What better way could you go around with it? But, yeah, we're still selling them. We're going through the end of the year. Whatever we can give to them is going to be more than they had before we gave it. So I'm excited to do that. So,
yeah, if you want to scan this QR code there, go to Same Flag, Same Oath. This will take you directly to the contest portion of the website. Choose which one you want to support, or if you're feeling gracious, go ahead and support all 3 and make Matt work even harder at his secondary or tertiary job. I don't know which job got your 6 is. This guy does so much that, appreciate you though.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. We're having fun. We're I would just let everybody know that we're about to maybe go through some changes. I see you, Bob, that you're waiting for new ones to be made. But here's the deal, my friend. Get your friends to buy the ones we have for sale right now. Not going to make any new things while I'm trying to give money to a veteran charity, right? Like that's the goal right now. So go share that with your friends. And then, get a whole bunch of people to buy a shirt, Bob. Maybe there'll be like, you get 30 to buy, you get 1 new design free. I don't know. We could try to work that out. Might work out pretty good. But, for real, we want to support them. But I'll tell you, there may, on the waiting for new stuff, y'all be on the lookout, man. Hats are coming. Might even be able to do some customization for some different things. The hat that I'm wearing, we were able to make for the podcast. So there's a lot of things coming that we can.
That's a nice looking hat.
Yeah, it is. It's got my face on it in the middle. Of course, it's nice. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Bob, for buying all 3. Now get 22 of your friends to buy all 3 as well.
Hell yeah, bro. I do too. So let's stop there real quick though, Bob. Thank you for doing that, because it means a lot. Because even though one of them may or may not, one of them's right. One of them's going to get the 10% of the sales, but buying all 3 means that whoever gets the money, we can give as much as we can to them. So we appreciate that. So I do want to say I appreciate you buying them, but I am still going to say, work that network, bro. Get some people out there to go take a look at them, buy them. Christmas is coming. Get some gifts for some people that like some cool shirts. Even if you want to cut the grass in it, I really don't give a shit. We're just trying to give money away to a veteran organization, right? So
absolutely, yeah. So I mean, for our guests today, I mean, we've had a lot of different people on that have talked about a lot of different things, but today Our guest is named William Huff, and he's not only got his own career, but he knows how the VA works. He's kind of a VA flow guru. So he's also a Navy veteran. So we're going to bring him on, talk about the Concerned Veterans of America, the Florida chapter. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff that goes on with I'll hit up Chope for sure, Bob. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff that goes on with the processes, and we'll kind of try to, in any inaccuracies or things that aren't correct, we'll try to get those addressed tonight. But without further ado, let's bring on William Huff. What's going on, brother?
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
So sorry we didn't give you a beautiful nuclear option, atom bomb, cold icicle rant, but Ty did get to go to the game this weekend, Air Force and Army. So you talked about going to the game. You talked about hanging out with the family. You got to see Berto, which I didn't know Berto was going to be there. That's got to be cool. What was it like going to the game? Have you ever been to a game at West Point, Ty?
Never been to a game at West Point. I've seen Air Force play one other time, but never at the academy. I've never been to any of the academy. It was freaking amazing to be able to just how scenic and beautiful Colorado, Denver, and Colorado Springs are. The fact that my father-in-law went there and was class of 1970, married his wife in the chapel, and my wife and her sister got to go see that and walk around with their kids. That was just, for me, how I'm sentimental about things. That was cool as hell. And then the fact that, I got to hang out with my Navy submariner brother-in-law, that was cool as hell. And then just the actual game itself, the athletic portion, is you see all those guys on the field, and first you wonder how they're, the big fucking linemen are going to make weight and tape when they do get in, but I think they have a little time. But it was amazing to see tomorrow's leaders, officer leaders, out there on the gridiron playing football. It was wonderful to see. I loved it for
I
wasn't going to say it until we got to the games, but
screw that, dude.
And Army won. So it turns out this video,
Air Force is better.
turns out that video was not correct. That was an untruth. Tatum was wrong. Army was in fact better this day. So
yeah,
I wasn't going to say shit to you, Tatum, but Matt told me I should probably rub it in a little bit. So.
You should rub it in. That's your kid, man. Like, come on. I know you want to go fly airplanes, and that's cool. You can do that. But while you're under this house and I'm paying these bills, you will cheer for the Black Knights. Just saying.
Yeah, sleeping yard. Well, he wants to go to the academy, so I'll give him his first salute if he graduates from the academy.
Yeah,
amazing.
Sure. So, William, you ever been to games with the service academies? You ever been?
No, I'm not. We were looking at going to Tampa this year to go ahead and support watching the Navy, the Army Navy game there. But
it's in Tampa.
They moved locations on where they were going to show it at, though. There was an organization we work with there that they have a big event there. Normally they would get the whole arena, but I guess some things fell through. So
you were going to go to like a watch party event for the Army Navy?
It was a watch party for it, yes.
Yeah, I went to the 20th anniversary Army Navy game in New York with Cole, my son.
On campus?
No, in MetLife Stadium,
MetLife,
New Jersey. Remember the 20th anniversary they played in New York? So that weekend we went up to New York. Becky, my daughter, and my mother-in-law went and saw Hamilton on Broadway, and me and Cole went and watched football like men do. You know what I mean? But it was cool. We got to go in there and watching those guys running with the flags and all of the stuff that's going on, watching the midshipmen and the cadets go at each other and just make fun of each other. But it was never the one thing Cole told me when we were walking around that stadium. When you go to he goes to A&M right now. So you see other fans from A&M, they're talking shit, but they're like mean talk shit where like we could fight here in a second. It's going to be okay. And he's like, Dad, everybody in here is like, they're talking trash, but it's not like you normally would hear. I'm like, yeah, Cole, because everybody's here to support these young men and women that are in here and these service academies going to support their country. Like it's a football game at the end of the day, and it's bragging rights for us. So of course we're going to talk trash, but the whole deal behind all of it is to support the future leaders of the military, right? They're out there, playing football, game they love, but they're about to have to give that up to go serve their country. And so that's what you're celebrating. And so he was like, oh, it was pretty cool. And, the Navy won that day. So that's because I was there. So, pretty good.
Go Army, beat Navy. I mean, you see some of the things that happen on TV, like the prisoner exchange before kickoff and that kind of thing. But I got to see that from pretty damn good seats there, like in the around the goal line. But I'm caddy cornered, so it's like a 45 degree. It's a great view of the game, great view of the other side of the stadium out into the mountains, and it's just absolutely beautiful. But to be able to experience that is pretty damn cool. So.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Love it. It's great. So William, that's enough of the opening. Let's get into what you do, sir. That's what we're here for. So first off, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it. We know that you're in Florida, correct?
Yes.
So I know that it's East Coast time for you. It's going to be pretty late for you doing it. So we appreciate you taking the time and coming on to just talk with all of our tribe to kind of let us know, what you do and how things are going with what you currently do to help veterans. But before we get there, we like to just ask every guest to kind of introduce themselves. So if you could start off and just kind of let everybody know where you grew up, what was it like growing up, and just kind of talk about where you're from.
All right. So originally I'm from Tucson, Arizona, lived out there for most of my life until I was 21. Kind of a little bit of a broken household. There's a lot of issues that happened off and on throughout the time of living at home. Unfortunately, most of my middle school years I spent with my mom in and out of mental hospitals, which is pretty tough. And watching my mom, I was 13 years old. Unfortunately, watched multiple attempts of suicide. This led into a lot of issues that I had growing up, a lot of issues, getting into a lot of problems, anger issues for a while, and ultimately turned into a major drug issue that finally I had a woman that walked into my life that I've been married to now going on 28 years. That made a big change in my life and really got me going in the right direction. After that, I left Tucson in 1997, went in the Navy, and that was how everything started from there. After I went in the Navy, I went out to Oceana, Virginia for 5 years.
So real quick, if you're okay with it, can we go back to kind of growing up in childhood? Because I think
yes.
What I think is important about what we talk about with everybody that comes on and what we like to share with everyone. And it's okay if you're okay talking about it, but growing up and seeing that, having to see what that's like, can you walk us through whatever you're okay with walking through? But you just brought up a few things, you're seeing a lot of mental health things growing up, the attempts with your mom, and that led you into something going down a dark alley. Do you mind talking about any of that, like sharing like how that came about for you and then how your wife helped you get out of that before going into the Navy, if you're okay with sharing it?
Yeah, no, definitely. So at that time, my way of coping with it was the only way I knew how at 13 years old. And that was, in Southern Arizona, all I was doing on the weekends was getting into fights every weekend. And from there, that went on for a few years, which at that point, I didn't really realize it until after the fact, but led into a pretty bad drug issue where I almost lost everything in my life, including my family and, in and out of school for a while. And when my wife, Michelle, walked into my life, it was just that other person there. We have a daughter, and for her, I did not want to see her go through that. So that gave me something positive in my life to try to work for. And really it was to make sure that she didn't have to go through everything that I went through. So from that point on, one of my biggest things that I've always tried to do is obviously try to help others. And with me being with Concerned Veterans for America, this is one of my ways that I'm able to give back and share this story and let people know that not everybody has a perfect life growing up, or everyone runs into issues. There's a little bit of speed bumps, but the way that we get around them and that we navigate through it is what makes us the person we are.
Yeah, for sure. And so were you like fights you were getting into, the drug usage that started, was that like, I mean, obviously it's, as it always is, hanging out with the wrong crowd, but was it friends that you were hanging around with? Was it like, you know, gang stuff? Was it just rebellion? Like, what was it that you feel like put you into that arena? I mean, maybe that you didn't have all that supervision that other kids had. Like, what was it that like pushed you in that direction, I guess you would say?
I think there's a little bit of everything. Part of it was the people I was hanging around with, but a lot of it was, you know, now that I sit there and look back at it, when I was doing all that, I didn't feel anything that was going on. I wasn't concerned about, you know, what was going on in the house, or, you know, unfortunately where my parents were at that time. It was my way of kind of self-medicating and getting away from it, unfortunately.
So it was like a way to get away. You were like, not that you were hiding from it, but it was a way to be away from it and not have to think about it, right? That was your way of like getting by. That's crazy. And so you said that your daughter was born while you were still having these issues, or how long did you know your wife before?
It was a little bit before that. I mean, I was having the issues then, but it was about a year before I really got kind of motivated and really stopped.
And what was the thing that I need to stop right now? Was it like a conversation? Was it an ultimatum, or did something happen where it made you like realize I can't do this anymore?
No, it just finally clicked in my head. It was something that for my daughter, I wanted to give her every opportunity that I did not have. So I wanted to do everything I could to ensure that she didn't have to go through it.
Yeah. No, and so that's where you decided, and that's what led you to the Navy. I guess you're saying that's you went in. Is that the Navy thing that you're like, I can join the Navy and separate from all this stuff and kind of go through and make something better? Or what was it that made you choose the Navy?
Well, and it wasn't even just the Navy. The Navy was the first one that could get me in so I could get out of that environment. I went and talked to all the other branches, and you know, the first one that opened up for me was the Navy, and I was willing to go ahead and jump on the first one that could.
And what did you join to do?
I went in as an aviation structural mechanic.
Aviation guy. So that means you're a pretty smart dude. Like, you're not like somebody that's running around and just being all crazy. Like, you got to be. I was a Navy recruiter. I wasn't smart enough to be in aviation, y'all, but I know got to get pretty good scores to do that. So it's not like you were, you know, shelling out because you couldn't do things like that. You got to be pretty smart to do that.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but
I would.
But it definitely worked out for me.
Me and our Seabees, dude, hold a wrench and drive this truck. I mean, come on, it's not.
Well,
you know,
when I went into, I wanted to look at something that I'd be able to use when I got out as well.
How many airplanes you worked on since you got out the Navy?
A lot, because after I got out, for about 10 years after I got out, I continued working on them.
I love it. See, y'all, you can do the job that you joined to do the military when you get out. The recruiter didn't lie all the way, you know, not all the way, just a little bit. So they were the ones that could just get you to boot camp the fastest. Is that what made your decision? Or
yes.
Nice. And so what year did you go into the Navy?
I went in 97.
Okay. And went to Great Lakes, or were you lucky enough to go to Orlando before they shut it down?
I went to Great Lakes.
Yeah, me too.
In July. So.
Oh. Might as well gone to Orlando, dude.
What does that mean? Because it's so hot?
It was hot and muggy there. But
bro, I went to boot camp December the 10th to Valentine's Day. I was shoveling snow, getting all that lake effect wind, you know, that hits Chicago and Great Lakes. No, dude, it was so cold. Man, it sucked. Anyway, summertime would have been way better, way better. And then you got to come down to Florida for school, right? You went to Pensacola?
I went to Pensacola, and then from there went up to Virginia Beach, Virginia, Oceana, and started my first command there was VF-213, which is an F-14 Tomcats.
Oh, there you go. Top Gun. Let's go. So what was it like for you being in an environment where you were, you know, fighting and running around and just, you know, no care or regard for what's going on? So now you step into this this organization that tells you got to be somewhere on time. You gotta do things the right way. You got to listen to directions. Was there a huge culture shock for you on that? Did you struggle to adapt, or was it a relief that you were in something that gave you that? Because there's two different thoughts there sometimes.
I think it was a major relief, because I knew at that time I wanted to do something, and I needed that structure. So that was really the big thing that helped me out, I think.
Yeah, and you said you were what, 21 when you went in?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's not like you were 18 and still. So you were an adult at that point, right?
Yeah.
So what kind of things? So as an aviation structural guy, were you on carriers, just squadrons? Like what side did you go on?
So I was in squadrons my whole career. So my first,
Lucky you.
the only time that I was not on a carrier or deploying on a carrier was when I was over in El Centro, California. But in Oceania, we went in. I made 2 deployments with VF-213. Our first one there, we went in the Persian Gulf and did a bunch of circles for a while, enforcing the no-fly zones in Iraq for Operation Desert Fox. And at that time, we were one of the first squadrons to try to launch a Phoenix missile. And unfortunately, there's a big story that goes with that it never they never armed it correctly, so it never fired off. But besides that was our first deployment there. And then in 2001, we were off the coast of India when September 11th happened. We did our turnover with the Enterprise, and then we sat off the coast for a month before we started taking part in any kind of combat operations after that.
Dang. So you guys were on the way home when that happened?
No, we were just getting on station, but the
okay.
Enterprise was getting ready to head home.
Not really. Turn around. Got to go the other way.
Yeah.
Those guys are probably mad. You guys are like, deployment just started for us. We'll be over in like 7 months, 20 years later. What happened? You know what I mean? So for you, if nobody's familiar, if you're in a squadron in the Navy, you're not assigned to a ship per se. Is that correct? You just like go to the ones that are scheduled to go. So you guys, your deployment schedule could be a little bit more rigorous than other guys that are on ships, right? Just because if it's wherever you're augmenting.
Well, I still think that the ship guys they're out a lot more often than we are. Normally what we would do is we'd be attached to a carrier air wing. And with that, we would go ahead and deploy with that air wing to that ship that we're assigned to at that time. Oh. But we would have to do a lot of workups prior to that. A lot of carrier qualifications for the pilots and getting everything ready to go.
That's cool. So what is it like? So I'm not okay. So disclaimer. I did 22 years in the Navy. Al did 22 years in the Navy as well. And he and I combined, you had more sea time the first time you walked on the ship than we have in the Navy ever. So my question to you is the thing that I've always wondered, and I like to talk to people about or get an idea of, what is it like doing launch and recovery on a carrier? Because I know you've done it. Like that is like an intense thing. Like what is it like being there when they're launching, they're coming back, and it's, the whole Top Gun scene, all that?
My favorite part of running around on the flight deck is actually during flight ops. But very high paced. You really have to watch everything that's going on around you. You'll constantly hear that phrase, keep your head on a swivel. There's numerous times that, some of the other aircraft, when you have 20 or 30 aircraft turning around you, it's hard to hear everything else that's going on, but it's action packed. And if you're not paying attention, obviously the side of the ship, there's not much really keeping you on board. You have all the jet exhaust and you have the props that are turning. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could dictate that as like a well-oiled machine, but it's like football, right? Or a team sport. Like you guys practice so much. It's second nature. I just think it's cool, man. You watch those movies and those guys are launching jets and, the yellow shirts are in there bringing them in. And then he looks at the pilot and then he guides into the thing and then they hit the catapult and like, dude, that stuff right there, man, that gives you goosebumps. That's awesome.
It's kind of a good feeling to sit there and be the final checker on that aircraft, knowing that when they're leaving, if you didn't do your job, you're putting somebody's life at risk. Yeah. So everything you're doing, you have to give that 100%. There's no doubt in what the call you're making. And it's pretty high. It's a very high paced environment.
How many times did you tell them you're not going and they tried to talk you out of it?
It wasn't the pilots more that would try to talk us out of it, but maintenance control would want to make that sortie. But a lot of the times if we made that decision, they had the utmost trust in us, and they knew that if we were making that decision, it was the right thing to do.
Yeah, that's what I thought. The pilots are going to be like, no. He said we're not going. I'm not going. I don't care what you up there in the tower said. Not going today, buddy. Not happening. Yeah. That's cool, though. Look who's here.
Yeah, I see that. I see who's trying to get in the green room. I'll pop him in. Ladies and gentlemen, Albert Hero.
Hey,
Sup,
Al, we were just
sup,
talking about how much
motherfuckers?
fun it was for you and me to do flight ops on a carrier.
What is that? What is that even? I don't even know what the fuck that even is. Sounds like some real gay shit. I don't even know. There's cute guys on carriers. I mean, it's cool.
Dang, bro. Wow. Yeah.
Like you guys.
Yeah. So everything's okay? All went well?
You know how it is, bro. If you got kids, bro, you always got drama.
Yeah. So, William, how many total years did you do in the Navy?
So I ended up doing 15. Ended up getting an early retirement due to a downsize during, unfortunately, during the Obama administration. We were a lot of the aviation rates were overmanned, and they got rid of about 3,000 of us.
Was that PTS program?
No, it was enlisted retention, or not?
Yeah, ERB.
Yeah, ERB.
Yeah.
So on that one, there was 3,000 of us they got rid of, and 300 of us fell within the early retirement category. So we ended up we're able to get a 15-year retirement out of it.
I mean, it's amazing you're able to do that. I remember in recruiting when that was going down, a lot of guys that were in recruiting duty, unfortunately, were picked because they weren't in their rating, but they went to the job they said was the most critical for the Navy. And they were like, no, you're not in your rate right now. So, we're going to have to let you go. And I was like, wait, what? So we would try to find ways to convert guys if we could, or find if they could get into other ratings and stuff like that. But yeah, it was pretty slim then. It's amazing how that works. We need all these people to do the job, and then we can get rid of a few. And it's like, man, you guys realize what these guys have been doing. They're putting everything on the line. But at least you got a retirement. That is the plus to that scenario for sure.
Well, and they gave us all the option of putting in a cross rate package, but what we were being told at that time is there's around a 1% chance of getting selected for it.
Well, because they're going to put you into the most undermanned rating, and everybody's going to pick it, and then it's going to become overmanned again, and you're going to be right in the same situation. Yep. Yeah. So 15 years. Now, how long did you have, and it's good that Al's here now because we're into his section of the thing. How long did you have before you got out?
So they told us before, it was right before Thanksgiving of 2011. And we had about it was almost right at a year. We had to be out by, I want to say it was September of 2012.
So it gave you a year for transition. So I'm assuming you were able to prepare and prep yourself for, your VA claim and all that good stuff. Was it difficult, or were you pretty much, you've seen the writing on the wall. You kind of knew it was coming for at least a year. Did it give you time to get ready for transition out?
Not in the command I was in at the time. They kind of really held on to us and would not allow us to really go out and do what we needed to do. So I think we had less than 3 months. 3 months before I got out, when I finally did my TAP class and got everything going for the VA.
Oh, good Lord. 3 months.
Were you like, oh shit? Were you like freaking out?
I was starting to stress. And then that's when I had, right after I got out, I didn't have a job to fall into. So when I got my last paycheck from active duty, I took a contract out in Alabama working on commercial aircraft.
It's amazing how that happens, right? Like you're getting out in a year. Well, I need to go get ready. No, you don't. We got deployments to do. We got things. We got to drop warheads on foreheads. So we need you here to make sure the plane can take off. But wait a minute, I'm not going to be here in a year. Can the dude coming up do that? No, we need you to do it. That amazes me. But that's what we talk about on here. We need to do better at preparing people to get out of the military, right? It needs to happen. Like, we do good at teaching you how to do your job. But the thing I say all the time that I think is the most funny to me now, looking back, is when I was getting out, my command master chief and some other people I knew were like, hey, man, you should do this stuff when you get out. And I was like, yeah, I should do that when I get out. And now I'm out and I go, why in the hell was I listening to them? They're still in the Navy telling me how to get out. Like, it was but again, you grow up in that world where like that's your sounding board. You're in the chief's mess, and it was good advice. But if I was staying in, it would have been great advice. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. So for you, what was TAPS like? just checking the box?
It was what I think it was a week. And the big thing about that, it seemed like it was more around only doing your VA claim and not as much as basically giving us a lot of the tools that they should be kind of providing to help everybody be successful. We did put all of our lives on hold, but the thing about it is if we're not giving everybody the correct tools for when they get out, we're setting them up for failure again.
Yeah. That's very true. So what about so going through that, and you went to Alabama and you were doing the work there, and you said, we were talking earlier, you worked on planes for a while after you got out. So the job that you were able to get, was it extremely difficult to find that job? Did it just come around at the right time, or did you find that you had different things that you could look into getting out? I know that you didn't have much time, but was it a lack of jobs for you, and that's just the one that came and you're like, I got to take it now, or did you have other opportunities?
I think part of it too is transferable skills. And then when I got out with this, what it was a contract that came up that just happened to fall in my my lap right at the last minute. And it just kind of, at that time, I started thinking I needed to take care of my family and made sure that they were supported. So I went on the road and was spent another 9 months out there just to make sure that my wife and kids were taken care of.
Yeah, went on deployment after you got out, basically, right? And so for how long, so you stayed there for that contract? Did you find something else after that? Did you kind of stay doing that for a while?
Yeah, so initially after that, so I was there for 9 months. After that, I got picked up by a major military aircraft manufacturer in St. Augustine. Went there for 5 years. And then after that, got picked up over at Fleet Readiness Center Southeast over at NAS Jax, and was doing heavy depot level maintenance on F-18s for about 3 years before I got hired on with Concerned Veterans for America.
Nice. There you go. So how did Concerned Veterans for America, how did that get on your radar? Where did you first learn about them? Where did you first see them? Where did you learn about them first?
Of all places, one of the guys I was in VF-213 with, my first command, he lived here in Jacksonville and reached out and said, hey, I'm working with Concerned Veterans for America. And they were looking for somebody at that time and was asking me if I'd be potentially interested. And it just kind of got everything going from there.
And so what were they looking for specifically to go work there? Like, what did they need? Just anybody to go in, or were they looking for something in particular?
They wanted somebody with grassroots experience. A lot of my grassroots experience before that was, I started our neighborhood watch in our community because nobody else wanted to step up and make it a better place. On top of that, I've been a member of our community development district, or CDD, now for a little over 8 years. And again, for that one, it's one of those things that a lot of people want to complain about what's going on in their communities, but we need more people to get involved. And this was one of the ways that I could get involved and really feel like I was making a difference in my community.
And so if you don't mind, can you just walk through everybody? What is Concerned Veterans for America? What's the mission? What do they do? What part do they play for veterans?
Okay, so we're a nonprofit, nonpartisan veteran advocacy organization. We're rooted in liberty-based principles that empower Americans to tackle America's pressing issues. We look at with veterans, we have a unique perspective and unique solutions to everyday issues that Americans are facing. So one thing that we do is we build communities that are inspired to make change. Some of those are getting volunteers. We'll do phone banks. We'll do at times we'll go out and hit doors. We'll get them to get out and reach out to their federal legislators. These are going to be the ways that we can make these changes in what's going on in our communities.
And so what is the, and it's nationwide, right? So there's chapters in other cities. And so if you wanted to get involved, do you have to work there? Can you be a volunteer?
You can be a volunteer. One thing I would tell everybody to do is go to our website, cv4a.org. If you look on there, there's going to be a red button up at the top right, and it says Take Action. On there, there's either current petitions that we're working on. You can go ahead and, there's a form you can fill out on there saying you're interested in volunteering. You guys have all my info. So if anybody reaches out to you, even wanting to get a hold of me, definitely share my info.
Mm-hmm.
We're on all of our, all the social media platforms. If you go to Concerned Vets on X, we're on there. We do have state chapters on there, but also we have our national page for there. If you go on to our national, the cv4a.org, and you look on there, if you go about us, you can go in and look up individuals and what states we're in. We've recently gone to a more of a zone mentality because we're really trying to get a big push to have a footprint in all 50 states is really what we're wanting to drive for.
How many are you in right now?
Right now we're in 13 states, but we have coverage in all the lower 48.
Okay. And so for the mission of what you guys are doing, Concerned Vet, so is it, so and forgive me, I'm learning about, I purposely don't read a lot because I like to ask a lot of questions while we're talking to guests.
Yeah, I've got some of their policy priorities. Let me read it right after you ask this question.
Yeah, I was going to ask. So for me, sounds like Concerned Veterans for America petitions, getting things done for vets, doing a lot of that. How much do you guys work with like the VFW, the American Legion? Are you guys on par with them? Do you guys champion things together? How is what you guys do different than what they're focused on doing, right? Because they do a lot of the same thing. I just want people to understand, like, there may be 3 organizations doing that, but how are you? What are you guys doing? Maybe a little bit different than those guys.
So I think for the most part, there's a lot of items that we work on that kind of fall in line with each other. One thing you'll notice about CVA is, especially when we go into offices or any kind of issue that we have, we don't just go in and come bring up a problem itself. If we have a problem that we've identified that veterans are running into or something that's affecting all Americans that we can change, we come in with a problem and a solution to fix the problem of what's going on. One of the big things we're working on right now, the Veterans Access Act, which is one of the big ones when it comes to the VA. And a lot of this, especially when it comes down to veterans having choice, we kind of discussed it a little bit earlier, but the VA is kind of made as a cookie cutter program where it's supposed to fit and work for everybody. Now, some individuals get really good care at the VA, and that's great. We want to hear that. Stay at the VA for those, but if not, we should have the ability to be seen out in our local communities. Some VAs are better at others at sending veterans out in the community, but we really need to have that choice. We have choice when it comes up to who we pick for our home loans, where we go to school, if we use VA education benefits. But the one thing that they don't give us enough credit for is being able to kind of have more of a role in our own healthcare.
And what have you seen has been the biggest barrier to allowing that to happen with all that you guys are working on? Are there things that is just like a simple push this button, let them do it? Or is there more to it than maybe why they're not doing all the choice care and stuff like that? What's been the biggest hurdle you've seen?
I think one of the biggest hurdles that we've all kind of noticed, especially, is basically holding the VA, for one, holding them accountable and making sure that they're holding their employees accountable. Back in 2016, the Phoenix VA scandal, and also in Augusta, where we had the veterans that were dying off the hidden wait list that were never going to get seen. At that time, the Mission Act came into play. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Mission Act, but that set certain access standards when we're getting seen at the VA. A lot of the times what they were doing is they were skirting around following those access standards that were put into place. And there was no accountability for not being able to follow that.
Go ahead, Matt.
I was going to say, Ty, you had stuff that you had there. I'm
Yeah. So these are some of the priorities that, and I totally agree with what William says. Is each case is different, and I think it's 2025. We've progressed to the point that things can't be cookie cutter, especially with the diversity of different types of environments and austere and otherwise. Whether it be respiratory, whether it just be the infantry that just pounded their fucking knees and back off, whether it be special operations who've and Rangers who have done all these crazy missions in every different kind of austere environment across the world. You just don't know what you're going to be dealing with. So I totally agree. And I'm hopeful that a lot of the grants that are going out to some, Project Zeros, the, Comrade and all these things that are going to be going out to these organizations that will directly at the grassroots level regionally, because let's be honest, people are doing different things in different regions of the country. They may require different care for, whatever they're doing today after, whatever their occupation is today. But I say all that to say this. I appreciate what he's doing, but I do want to talk about some of the 2025 priorities. I put it on the screen there, but if you can't read it, one of the issues is provide for a strong national defense with prudent foreign policy. So this seems like it's a lobbying act to talk about, foreign policy. So I think that's wonderful that veterans actually have that voice, because, boys, like we say, like he was saying earlier, there's a reason, as I was taking notes, there's a reason that I get involved with the watchdog. There's a reason that Al Hero was going to possibly join that Florida military group. We just have that in our blood. Sorry that I'm covering you up, man. I just realized.
No, that's okay. I've been talking for a while today. That's cool. They let me drink more beer during the live podcast. So
we just have a different. So shout out to Troy Pepito with April 1 Bourbon. We are enjoying your drink tonight on the show.
Well, he's the man, but I decided to go with the Green Beret exclusive Project Halo. It's delicious. Nice. Melissa, you make amazing beer.
So we got the strong provide for a strong national defense with prudent foreign policy. That's 1. 2 is protect our conditions for our prosperity. And the third one is empower veterans with access to quality and timely health care, which is what you were just waxing poetic about. But if you don't mind, talk about some of the protect conditions of our prosperity and provide for a strong national defense, kind of what the Concerned Veterans for America, Florida chapter specifically, what their priorities are this year.
So on the providing for a strong national defense, one of those that we need to make sure that on a lot of our, we get involved in a lot of conflicts around the world itself. A lot of these conflicts really have nothing to do to, make sure that America is put first. And a lot of the times we're getting ourselves involved in items that diplomatically, there's a lot of ways that we can really look into it to try to prevent something from necessarily, especially from the United States, about getting it dragged into a war.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always thought that veterans have a perspective about foreign policy that even the most educated people in our America today, if you've not been there and done that, you just don't have the perspective to understand that there are people that just don't like our American way of life, and we can go back and forth with the blue and the red internally, and that's cool. That's what we can do. But externally, people like us really think about protection, and I appreciate that. That's one of y'all's priorities. Go ahead, Matthew.
No, I was going to say that I think when you look at it overall, though, a lot of people that are in the country nowadays, especially with how the recruitment of the military is going, they're against all these things that we get into. But then when you would ask them if they would, like if something were to come here, would they serve or would they step up? They say no. And so there's that big thing. But I remember being young in the military, like, why are we going to all these other places when we have stuff we can fix at home? So the problem's always been there. What kind of things are you guys doing to help educate people on that to kind of make the change?
So a lot of stuff we're doing is bringing forward some of the veteran stories of what we're experiencing on these deployments. I mean, everything kind of goes hand in hand along with our foreign policy. Here it is. As veterans, when we first go in, we sign that contract with the government. And then when we get out, it's trying to make sure that government is honoring that social commitment that we made to them. So that's one part of it. But on that one, we're always holding tabling events. we're always trying to do other events to bring to light, the fact that we need to make sure that we're putting America first when it comes down to really getting involved in any kind of a conflict, and that with war or any kind of a operation like that should really be back in the hands of Congress, and it should be that last thing that we should look at would be war. That's the last thing we want to do to put our troops in any kind of harm's way on that.
Yeah. Al, you talk about that a lot too, when you're out and about and you see people walking around, and what he just brought out of, like, from a veteran perspective, things we've seen and done and we've gone to do. And then you see how people treat what they have here. And you're just like, if you guys only knew, what I've seen and where I've been, you know what I mean? Those things that we've talked about before. Yeah, it's crazy.
Ty kind of nailed it. I mean, we bring a totally different perspective when it comes to like foreign policy, national security, right? And there are some veterans who are out there doing big things, on Capitol Hill. We had Jason Redman on. He's always out there pushing for policy change and working with VA and working with government entities to try to get things changed, right? I feel like we're underutilized. The veteran community is such an underutilized resource in the United States. It's crazy, right? You're like, oh, just some old veteran with a Vietnam veteran hat on. He ain't, it's way bigger than that, right? We are such an underutilized resource. It's just absurd.
Yeah, we need to make sure that we have more veterans that are getting involved in, not even necessarily at the federal level, but any kind of, city council, HOAs, get more involved, because we do have a lot invested in this game, and we do have these unique perspectives. So we really need more to step up and get involved.
Yeah. Al, just make sure you don't wear your favorite shirt when you go run for the HOA board. Okay.
What, to fund the HOA? Always.
Yeah.
Not a liberal.
Yeah.
No, Al wears the shirt that says defund the HOA. That's what he's wearing when he goes in. Vote for me. So everybody probably would. But that it makes sense. But to Al's point, when you look at veterans and what we've done, I think like when we get out, we separate out there. You got the contract that you got right when you got out. We were all fortunate enough to get jobs and we're doing okay. But there's a lot of times where we get out, you've got this skill, they teach you, it's marketable, you can do it. And then when you come out, and the first time a veteran, let's say they did 20 years. And we know nowadays in America, you can't do a 20-year and you can't live on that retirement forever. Like, you're going to have to get a job, right? So you go to do your interview, and the person you're interviewing with is 10, 15 years younger than you, talking about, nah, you ain't no good. And you're like, who is this person, right? And so, like, that's where I see the preparation to get out should be a lot better. But I feel like we should do a better job of a partnership between the civilian world and the military world, and kind of bring those two together to go, hey, let us teach you what veterans' skill sets are. Like, I know you see that they did this job that was, that they were a cook in the military. I know that you see that, but they can do so much more than cooking. They can lead. They can manage things. They're taught to do more than just that job, and we don't do a good job at showcasing that and making it understandable to the people that are outside of there. And so, being underutilized, it's our fault. Like, we don't do a good job of advertising what we're doing, right? Because we get out and then you're stuck and you've got to make it happen, and then you start pointing blame, and then it becomes someone else's fault, and that's where it becomes a struggle. And so, we just got to be better at bragging about ourselves, which we're not taught to do. That's the other thing that's extremely difficult. But yeah, I got to tell you that I'm awesome. I can't do that. I was taught that you don't do that. I take care of the people that I'm here to lead. It's nothing about me. And then you get out and they're like, no, it's got to be all about you. You're like, wait, what? It's the opposite.
Yeah, I think you're right, Matt. We've got to do a better job of reaching that veteran community. Because I think for all of us, or at least for me, when I first got out, I was just so happy to be out and like, it's over. Like, I can breathe now, and now I can move on to a new chapter. And you kind of get blinders on where you start focusing on your next mission, your next chapter, and you start, and then it took me a little bit of time to figure out, what, I want to get involved, the podcast and some other things that we're involved in, but it takes some time, right? I was ignorant to the fact that I didn't know all these organizations and all, I didn't know the VFWs did so much. I thought this is a place that a bunch of veterans go to drink and talk shit. Like, that's cool too. But there's a lot of things that are out there for us to get involved with. You got to make a conscious decision to say, I want to make change and I want to do something. Because a lot of us, we're all guilty of it, right? We're a bitching CB is a happy CB, right? So we sit around as veterans and we bitch about how things are going or how things aren't going.
And then we all even go, he's happy.
How fucked up shit is. And like, this is bullshit. I hate it. But we don't ever do it. We don't ever take that first step to say, you know what, I'm going to get involved. And to your point, William, it's small shit, right? You can, Bob, you're the baddest gate guard I've ever known, bro.
By the way, Bob, they hire badass gate guards at fireworks stands and the Halloween store every year, dude. You should go do that.
Nah, Bob's a bad motherfucker. I like giving him shit. But at the end of the day, you've got to be willing to put yourself out there and give it a shot, right? Try something. Don't just sit around and bitch about how fucked up shit is and how this is bullshit and I hate life and life sucks and then there's so many organizations that you can just get involved with, like you said, just to volunteer at and show up, a couple times a week and do something, right? Find a local chapter, a veteran organization in your local community and say, hey, I want to be a part of it. I promise you, they're looking for help and they're wanting help. They're not going to turn you away, right? They're looking to get more people involved. It just takes you got to take your blinders off and stop, stop worrying about like all the other shit, right? Just do something, do anything, right? It's you got veterans who sit around and bitch about everything under the sun, man. Your health's declining, you got medical issues. Fuck all that. Get out and go on a walk. Do something to better yourself every day as a veteran and get involved. That's really what it boils down to is find something you're passionate about and go fucking do it. Stop sitting on your fucking couch and your fucking chonies eating fucking Cheetos, whining about how shit's all fucked up. Get off your fat ass and go fucking do something. And if you're not willing to do it, then stop bitching about it because we don't want to fucking hear it. We hear that enough through the local media and social media. We don't want to hear you whining and bitching about it. Fucking man up and go do something, right? I'm fucking with Bob about being a gate guard, but you did some pretty badass shit in the Army. Now take your skill set, stop whining, not just you, but just stop whining about it and go get involved, right? Yeah. And I don't want to hear, well, I've tried and nobody gives a fuck. Then keep fucking trying. Start kicking in fucking doors and somebody's going to be like, we got you. You're on our squad, right? Yep. Start whining about it.
So that's what I was going to ask you next, William. So like you said, right now you guys are represented in 14 states, right? Let's say somebody wanted to get something started in a state there's not a chapter there. How would they do that? If they wanted to be someone we're talking about to get involved and help and make something happen, could they help you guys get something established in somewhere where there's not one currently?
Definitely. We're always looking at for volunteers. So all they need to do, if they reach out on our website, they can go and get on there. And then what we'll do is somebody will follow up with them and look at ways that we can help each other.
Yeah. And so ideally, what would that look like? Let's say City X in the United States of America doesn't have a CVA chapter. They're looking to start it. Like, realistically, what are they doing? Setting meetings and giving awareness? Like, what would the time commitment for that be? Or is it just, I'm sure it's just like getting the word out there, but I'm sure at first it doesn't take that much to just help, right?
No, and even, you can do it even an hour a month, even if you give an hour, even that helps out. Or, if you're just sitting around and you have nothing going on, sharing our social media posts that we're doing, anything even as far down as that. In some of the areas where we're not at, we still have our zone leaders that cover those areas. So even with something like that, if we get enough of an interest, we can get people out there to go ahead and get out there and talk to them and look at ways that they could start sharing some of the items that we're working on out there.
Nice. And so what kind of events do you guys typically go to? Like if someone was going to come out and talk to you guys, other than the things you guys, set up and run, I'm sure you do a lot of that, but what other kind of things do you guys participate in?
So we try to reach out and do a lot of events with, especially other organizations. If here in Florida this year, we've done the VFW convention. We did the American Legion National Convention, Moms for Liberty National Convention this year we did. So we look at a lot of these other events that are going on that these other organizations are putting on. And a lot of the times what we'll do is we'll set up tables, or we'll try to find ways that we can partner with them and potentially sponsor some of these events that they're doing.
Nice. So there you go. If you're trying to make a difference in your community and you need some help, just go to the website, cv4a.org, and say, hey, I need some help. And someone will reach out to you. And again, it's just letting everybody out there know, Al, you made a great point. Stop bitching about what you can't do and go do something. If you really wanted to make a difference, you could. And it starts with just getting off your ass and doing it, right? Like, you gotta just get up and reach out. Like, a lot of times, it's weird. Once we get out of the military, we think everything's going to find us magically. It doesn't. You have to go get it, right? You have to, really work for it. And sometimes it's just a simple email and they're like, well, go set a tent up. We'll pay for it. They're like, what? Really? Yeah, let's go. There you go. You're off to the races.
And then there's a lot of times where people will think that, that we're a VSO and we're a veteran service organization. Now, we'll help with what we can, but there's not a lot. We're not a VSO at all. So 90% of the time, what we'll do is, with our list of contacts that we have, we'll get them in contact with somebody locally that's a VSO that can help them out, especially when it comes to claims. There's no reason for somebody to have to go out and pay for doing their claim when they can go to a VSO and get all this done for free.
Yeah. So that's a good point that you just made. So everybody knows out there, you guys don't do VA claims. You guys help veterans with issues, but you can help partner them with somebody. And so it's a very important distinction that people need to understand, is like, we're not the people on Facebook saying if you're like 0, we'll get you to 100 in 10 days. Anybody that clicks on that ad, by the way, good for you. And if they do it, let us know. Send us some results. But you know what I mean? So it's good information to share. And so I would just say, reach out, volunteer, get out there and do something, right? If you want it to be meaningful, you're going to have to reach out and do it.
Get off your ass. Go do something. Fuck it.
Yeah. Just go do some shit. Make shit happen. Well, the hot seat bringer.
I'm sorry you cut out there for a minute. Is it time for me to go?
We're waiting on you, bro.
All right, let me drop y'all down. Go ahead, take over, Matt. All right, so here's what I like to do when we do the hot seat. Ask 10 questions. Hope everyone got out and voted on Tuesday. Left my sticker on there. Sorry about that. I'm going to ask you 10 questions. Just give me the first thing that comes to your brain. All right, I'm going to give you the category for the first one. Movies or stand-up comedians? Which category you want?
Let's do movies.
All right. Give me your Mount Rushmore of movies.
One of my favorites of all time has always been Tombstone.
All right. There's one. 3 more.
Dancing with Wolves.
Gotcha. Excellent movie.
Top Gun, of course.
Obvious reasons.
And then another one I really liked was Behind Enemy Lines.
Oh, excellent movie. Very underrated in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, Owen Wilson, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. All right. Wax poetic about life on the USS Carl Vinson. I mean, this is a floating city out in the middle of the ocean. Just tell me what a day in the life was like for you at work at sea, underway.
Easiest way to put it, 14 to 16-hour days. Spent most of that up on the flight deck. Most of the time, it didn't matter what the weather was, unless it was very heavy seas. And if not up on the flight deck, we were down in the hangar bay, doing maintenance.
What was your off time like?
Basically, it'd be getting a shower, sending a couple of emails to the wife, and besides that, it would be right off to the rack to try to get ready for the following day.
Gotcha. So this kind of goes along. I'm sure your answer is going to be pretty cool for this. But what is the most unique place on Earth you've ever been?
Most unique. It's kind of tough because I've been to a lot of places. I think one of my favorite places to go, I really liked Hong Kong and Singapore.
For what reason? What was cool about those two places?
Singapore was super clean. for me personally, I really enjoyed the time there. Besides that would be when I lived in Japan for 4 years.
Gotcha. All right, next question. You've kind of waxed poetic about your things that had you down, things that had you up in your career, how your transition was kind of compressed pretty tightly. And it seems like you've had a pretty eventful life. I want to know, when you were a child, maybe 6 to 12 years old, who was your hero?
Honestly, my hero growing up was my Uncle Steve. He was really like a father to me. So I've always looked up to him, and unfortunately lost him a few years ago.
Did he have something to do with you joining the military?
No, but he was another one of my in my family that he was in the Army, but didn't really push. When I was going through my drug years, that was the person that I was more upset about hurting. I was more concerned about hurting him than the rest of my family, except for my wife.
Gotcha. So you've talked about all the things that have bothered you. Addiction. I think I'm addicted to food. So it may not be heroin that I'm addicted to, but food is my heroin, and I fully think I'm addicted to it. So you've talked about that. What's the biggest lesson that your life in the military has taught you to be where you're at now?
I think part of that would be being flexible, being able to roll with the punches, and never giving up. Tomorrow's a new day, no matter how bad it gets.
Love that answer. All right, sir. Tell me, what drives you in life?
The biggest thing that drives me in life is being able to give my wife and my children the life that they deserve.
My man, I like that answer. All right. What keeps you up at night?
Besides the apnea, basically besides that, just making sure I'm doing everything correctly. I try to overanalyze and make sure that I'm getting everything planned and everything that I'm doing is what I need to be doing.
Gotcha, I appreciate it. And I'm sorry I laughed for the apnea, but I have sleep apnea as well. And if I didn't have my mask, I don't think I'd be surviving today. All right, which means more to you, integrity or loyalty?
Integrity.
And why?
I think with integrity, everything builds off that integrity. Once you've lost your integrity, everything else falls apart.
Absolutely. All right, a couple more questions for you. What's your favorite sport?
Now probably college football.
All right. In your brain, who is the all-time greatest college athlete of all time?
I'm gonna have to kind of draw a blank on that, but honestly, I think one of the ones that I think did the most between college and once you got out of college, I think would happen to be probably one of my favorites. Always gonna be Larry Fitzgerald.
Larry Fitzgerald. He I think he went to college a lot, so I really appreciate what Larry Fitzgerald's done. A great athlete. All right, here's the question everybody asks on the show: who's the greatest of all time, Prince or Michael Jackson?
That's gonna be a tough one. Didn't really listen to either one of them, but I'd probably have to say Michael Jackson. I think just the nostalgia behind it.
Dancing.
As you can see, it's a pretty contentious Michael Jackson's been gaining ground, so he's down to 37-41 and still in favor of Prince. But appreciate that answer. You would be surprised. Some people get downright emotional when they talk about this. Like last week, Drew Hernandez, a combat veteran, said there ain't no way you can even compare these two, and he gave a very compelling argument. But like you said, if you're not passionate about it, you're probably going to say Michael Jackson. So appreciate that answer. All right, last question. What can we do to be better as a podcast?
I really enjoyed the podcast. I didn't really see much that you guys can do to make it any better. I think the big thing as guests and as viewers, the big thing I think that we need to do is make sure we show love to the podcast itself. Get more people to get involved and watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. Great answer. Appreciate it. Appreciate your answers. Appreciate the insight. And I love the experience of, what it would be like to just work on a carrier, mostly because of the, Top Gun and everything. You grew up, that's the greatest recruitment video ever. But, I was in the Army and I had a completely different leadership, completely different mission than what Matt and Al described. And the Navy, just as far as like lore and leadership and profound leadership that goes on there, I only had that with certain people. But you guys, I mean, being out in the middle of the ocean in a boat, basically living in a city, there's jokes that go, 60 people go out, 30 couples come back. That's funny and everything, but I really respect the hell out of what Navy does, and especially the fucking aircraft carriers, and you being in aviation. That's cool as hell. Sir, you have officially graduated from the Triple Threat Vet. Hot seat. Let's bring the guys back.
So just anecdote there, right? Like, you have to have a different style of leadership in the Navy, man. You just have to. Like, a fire breaks out in the middle of the ocean, there's nowhere to fucking go, dude. We're not getting in a truck and leaving the building. Like, it's got to be done right here. And so there's just it's just a different perspective. I think in the Navy, all the services have their part, and they're all valuable as hell to keeping us free. But you learn younger there to have to step up, and if that makes sense at all, you know what I mean? When you're fighting fires and things go down, I was never in the middle of the ocean. I call that lucky, or some called it choose your rate, choose your fate, whatever. I'm just lucky there, but I just see, there's differences, when you look at all the services. But yeah, I think that's the one thing I wish I would have done, is just been like an observer for flight ops, touch and goes, launching the jets. That shit would have been cool.
Hell yeah.
I'll watch videos. I'm cool. I'm good. I'll watch the videos.
Yeah, you afraid that it's not going to pull back in?
That shit seems dangerous. I'm good. The most dangerous place in the world
is
the
dangerous.
Flight deck. I'm good. My dad was an AMS. He tells me all these stories. I'm good.
Oh,
I wouldn't have made it.
Yeah, that's true.
Bob says, much respect for the Navy. They even let T-Rex disabled arms in the Navy. Okay. I don't know exactly what that means. But I do want to give a shout out real quick to Navy Corpsman Carlos Calzada, who is up at the American Royal competing with Smoking Los Barbecue for the American Royal. This is probably one of the top 5 prestigious cooks in all of the world, probably, but definitely America. Very cool. Wish you the best of luck, Carlos, and hope you walk last, brother.
Hell yeah. And also, if you want to have a good time and there's some partying going on, we know another team that's up there that's probably getting it in right now. So go check them out and hang out. There's a whole crew of people from Texas up there right now.
Yeah, for sure. Robert Rocha with Bullhorn, Tom Clark, and Jen Lee with JC's Good Old Boys, all the team that I cooked with at Jack Daniels. And, of course, we're rooting for Smoking Los Barbecue because he's the mentor that cooked with Al Hero this year with the Danny Dietz Memorial.
Yeah.
That was cool as hell. Anyway,
I got him a little plaque to bring home from that one, y'all. Got a little plaque.
Check it out.
But
anyway,
MREs, bro. They'd have had those when I was in the military. I would have ate MREs every day. That thing was good as hell.
William, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. We've put the website on the screen a couple times, but I'll put it on there again. But I really appreciate you sharing your story. Bob Mayer says he wants to start one in either Tennessee or Kentucky, wherever he lives. I'm not for sure, but he'll probably be on your website. But here it is, www.cv4a.org. It's got all the information, and go back and watch the replay. Be sure you like and subscribe. and go ahead and see cv4a.org. William Huff, we appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much. You want to give some shout outs before you get out of here?
Definitely. Everybody else out there with CVA. It takes all of us to make things happen. And for all of our veterans out there, especially our Marine Corps brothers that are coming, brothers and sisters that are coming up. Obviously, the birthday is coming up next week. Happy birthday to them. Besides that, I want to thank you guys for having us on.
Yeah, but we got to slow down a little bit on that Marine Corps birthday there, Will. Marines are like Paris Hilton. They put their birthday right next to Veterans Day because they want extra days. That's some bullshit, right? They were brought in. Kyle Shudik and all you guys that eat crayons, David Willis. Look, man, we know that you guys are special. That's why you joined the Marines, but you don't need more than one day. You can't claim Veterans Day too. That's why they put it so close. But happy birthday. You know what I mean? Happy birthday.
Absolutely. And then speaking of that, if you're a Marine and you're in the Houston area, the Tomball VFW is having their let me double check the time here, but I'm almost positive it's on Monday the 10th at 1800 at the Tomball VFW in Tomball, Texas. That's 14408 Alice Road here in Tomball. They're having the Marine Corps birthday. Come on out. I think I'm going to be there. I have a few beers with you Marines. I'm an Army guy, so take it easy on me. But yeah, appreciate it. Happy birthday, 250th.
Hey, Ty, on there too. Before I forgot to mention earlier, but if anyone gets on our site too, and they're looking at any events that we are putting on, when they go into that take action as well, in there's a tab on there for events that we're doing locally. Everything, a lot of the stuff that we're doing will be posted on there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll throw that back up on the
hello.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, William Huff, appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, take it easy. That's pretty fun. It's always good because in my experience, I was like the wet dream of a recruiter to join the military. During my time in the military, all we did was, deploy and come back and get ready. So I had a completely different experience, and then so to hear some of these stories, and then my exit and transition out of the military was like a dream. Everything worked out perfectly for me. First time go at all stations, VA care has been wonderful for me. I had a lot of things done there. I was afraid to get some things done there, but that's just because I was afraid to get, the procedure done anyway. But it's always good to get different perspective because the kind of care we need, the frequency of care, and for me, I've never had a bad experience, and I've had imaging done there. I've had, I'm 50 years old, so I've had I woke up in the middle of that thing. That's the only weird experience I've ever had at the VA, but every other experience has been great. So if there is a bunch of consternation,
are we talking butt stuff?
Yeah. I forgot.
Yeah. Okay.
Colonoscopy, bro.
Man,
yeah.
I woke up in the middle of the colonoscopy, and
they changed the year, bro. It's 45 now. I got to do one this year. I'm all excited about it. I'm like, ooh, this is going to be exciting, dude.
Dude,
like,
that doctor's going to be like, excuse me, sir? Like I'm
going to get a shirt that says I'm here for butt stuff. I'm going to have them. They're going to feel very uncomfortable when I go in there. Yeah. Like they're going to be uncomfortable when I show up.
Knocked out. You just got to jump up in there, Doc. You just got to jump up in there.
I'm showing up in a t-shirt and cowboy boots, no pants, no underwear, just ready to go. Like they're gonna be like, what's going on? I'm like, yeah, I'm here for the butt stuff. Let's go. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
now I'm not happy about it. My wife's like, you have to go. I was like, fuck that. Who changed the year? It's supposed to be 50. I got 5 years. She's like, no, it's 45 now. Fuck that, bro.
I didn't get the memo. I'll go at 50.
Damn.
All right. So this week in sports, you want to get into the sports now?
Yes, we do.
All right.
Damn, Matt's gaining on me.
The boy's creeping.
All right, so here's the results from this week. Memphis won, pretty cool game. They're down here in Houston. That was cool. Notre Dame beat Boston College. Killed me. Kentucky. So I feel terrible. Kentucky. I did choose Auburn, but Kentucky went to Auburn and got a win 10-3. And I watched that game, and I was cheering for UK while I was watching the game. But then once they won, which I didn't think they were going to, but once they won, I was like, shit.
Fuck Matt.
I picked the yeah, fuck Matt. He chose I'm not going to be probably welcome back to Corbin, Kentucky.
Fucking EK, you got me, bro.
Yeah.
They got me.
Me too, bro.
Yeah, so I mean, I looked it up. I actually thought I was going to lose this pick. FSU, of course, won, and then the big thing is that Army won. Let me play this one.
You know what would have made that video epic?
What's that?
A fake knockout punch, and he would have flown across the room.
I'll
That'd
change
be
the
so
video.
good.
I'll get it done for next week. We'll show it again.
You may want to show it though. They'll be like, "That guy abuses his kid." You know how it goes to them.
Well, we'll make sure we say it's AI. We'll put this.
No kids were harmed in the
Bro,
making of this AI video.
Alex almost got abused today. He had a rough day, bro. That poor kid.
All
Bro.
right, let's hear it because you weren't on the show at the beginning.
So-
Let's hear the benevolence that is Al Hero.
Bro,
His hair
this-
didn't save him this time.
This is my life. Like, so he started his new job today with Balfour. He's a technician in Pensacola now. So it's day one. He leaves plenty of time to get there. Well, this motherfucker uses the GPS. Why? I don't know. Goes to the wrong gate. And the Pensacola back gate is fucking way far away from the front gate. So he's at the back gate. He fucking reroutes, goes back around, comes back to the back gate again like an idiot. Like he's back there again. They're like, dude, you're in the wrong spot. He finally gets over there. He forgot his social security card. His car is overheating. So he's like getting ready to break down. He's having a fucking nervous breakdown. So like, that's why I was late, because I had to go meet him at the auto shop, drop his car off, bring him here, unload his tools into our spare car. That thank God we have an extra car that just sits in the garage. So he's unloaded, bro. It's just a fucking nightmare. Like having kids I want y'all to understand. If you decide you want to have kids, watch some fucking videos. Think about that shit long and fucking hard. Because these motherfuckers, even when they become grown, these motherfuckers still need help. They are not fucking. He's out of the nest, but this motherfucker's still hanging around the nest a little bit.
Hold on though, that's our fault, dude.
Bro.
It's our fault. It is our fault because when I was out of the nest, and I know when you were out of the nest and Ty was out of the nest.
Oh yeah.
If I would have had an issue, I'm not getting help, dude.
Well,
they'd have been just like, figure that shit out.
Well, I know, but he just don't take stress well, bro. He just does, like he's texting his mom like.
Neither did I, but nobody gave a shit.
You know, he's getting a visitor pass for like his D. So it's weird as fuck. He get his D-bids card so he can get on and off base. And these motherfuckers use I think they used the picture of him, bro, like from his first military ID, because he looks like he's about 14 years old. It don't even look like his ass. And he's like, this is the picture they use. And like he was in there freaking out. He's like, I thought they were gonna call base security. I'm running. I'm like, bro, take a deep breath. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
But he ruined my night because I had to go help him.
No, see, but that's the thing is you say it ruined your night, and I know you. I've known you for like three plus years now. When you say it ruined your night, that's what makes you such a wonderful dad, and that's what makes you one of the.
I'm gonna take care.
It
of my
made
boy.
his night. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'm gonna take care. He got him. His mom fed him. He used our computer. He did his little thing. We hooked him up. I gave him a bunch of Balfour. Gave him a bunch of Balfour swag and shit.
I think I should move back in, guys. No,
don't ever say that.
Not happening.
That motherfucker eats a lot.
All right, so Al Hero went 4-2. Matt Johnson went 5-1.
I just needed that one win, and I'd have been tied with Al. What the fuck? It's coming, bro.
This week's going.
You were back 2 games last week, and you're only down 1 this week. So.
I know. I keep gaining up ground. I'm winning.
So let's see what happens this week.
This is just a tough one.
Yeah, we got all 7
week.
teams, our regular 7 teams at the beginning of the season. This is one of the first times that we've not had to pick an extra game or had a bye. All 7 games are here. All right, Memphis and Tulane. Who you got, Albert?
Memphis.
All right, Memphis. All right, Matthew. Who you got?
Tulane's away.
Yeah, and
so it is at Memphis, right? I know that's kind of weird, but it looks all clogged if I do it the other way.
No, I got you. I'll take Memphis. Memphis is at home, even though I do like Tulane's new uniforms. Y'all seen them hometown uniforms they got?
No. I'll have to.
Tulane, go look. Tulane made a hometown uniform. So when you go to New Orleans and you walk the streets, they've got the Spanish tiles with the names of the streets on it.
Yeah.
They did their unis up where the back of the name is those street tiles. Like,
that's
dude,
pretty
that
cool.
Uniform and that helmet is clean.
That's pretty cool.
Good.
Their home uniform.
It looks like a painting Becky did, actually.
I love it when Tulane, especially they, and all the that whole motif that goes on down in NOLA. I like y'all's style. What do y'all think about the throwback uniforms going on in the NFL right now? Do you like
Stupid.
them?
Some of them are like Pittsburgh's horrible. That's the most ugly.
That Pittsburgh uniform was like they got white and black numbers.
That's just
what
gross,
happened?
bro.
Becky was like, "Are they wearing shorty shorts on the field?"
That shit's gross, bro. Some of them are cool. Some of them I don't like. I like the Bucks. I'm a Bucks fan. I like Tampa. I like
Just wear your fucking uniform.
I love the only one I really like is I like that I forget what they call green Philadelphia when Randall Cunningham like that.
Yeah, the Kelly Green, the Kelly Green one.
Yeah, that's a beautiful uniform. I like.
Listen,
that. Cool.
Here's the thing though, like if you're gonna really do cool ass uniforms. Y'all need to go start talking to college campuses and take notes from them,
bro.
Because they're
Miami's camouflage uniform was
dope. It was good,
shit.
bro. It was clean. Like, so I'm saying, you got to talk to those college guys. By the way, most of you guys all use same uniform manufacturer, unless you're in the Big 12 and you like Adidas for some reason. But anyway,
absolutely. Okay, so here I chose Memphis. I already did my picks, so I chose Memphis. So we've all got Memphis on that one. All right, this is a big game because this is not only Albert's team that he chose to pick. This is also Navy. So number 10, Notre Dame versus Navy. It is at Notre Dame.
I'm going Notre Dame.
Go Irish.
Yeah, I mean, it's who you got, Ty?
I was going to pick Navy because he has to.
No, I'm picking Navy because I was inspired when I was at the Air Force Academy. You know, you're
about to be disappointed this weekend.
Yeah, I believe, like you said, at this point, I've got to make a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
I am
making on that one.
It was so fucking cool to be at the Academy watching the Academies play. Because, okay, let's think about this. We got the Annapolis is Naval Academy. We got West Point's the Army. You got Colorado Springs is the Air Force. And then there's also a
Coast Guard Academy.
Where is
they don't play football, though.
Yeah, but still, they're an academy.
I don't know where they're at.
Citadel.
I think it's in Colorado too. I
thought it was in Maine or something, but
maybe
that's from a movie. I'm not for sure.
That was called The Guardian.
Yeah,
they were jumping out of helicopters, stealing the Navy's rescue summer program. Kevin Costner did a good job selling it. I remember that movie too.
Yeah, good try, Kevin.
Spoken like a true recruiter.
Yeah,
perfect.
That shit was cute. Ashton Kutcher, you're cute.
Yeah, you can swim good, bro.
Yeah.
All right, so LSU and Alabama. First game for you, Matthew. Who you got?
And in the famous words of I can't even remember what rank in service he's in anymore, but Michael Stroud, Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Yeah, he's in another branch. He's been in all of them. I don't even know.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I think here, there. He checked in tonight, so Roll Tide there.
I know he's
Mike
in Japan.
Stroud.
I don't know what he's got going on.
So obviously, I have to pick LSU just to try to win. So this is all strategic at this point. I don't know that it's going to happen because it's at Alabama, but I'm choosing LSU. Come on, boys, don't let me down.
Roll Tide.
Al? Yeah.
Roll Tide. Roll Tide.
Ty.
Yeah.
I know that you're taking chances, but there's some other games on here that you could take.
Yeah.
Bro.
Alabama looks tough, dude. They are smashing people.
Well, Texas A&M looks tough as hell too, but I got to choose Missouri for that one. But
because you don't pick A&M.
Yeah, but I don't pick them, but I do recognize that they are a solid number 3 team.
Look at the big brain on Bob. Connecticut is the
Connecticut.
Okay, good job. See, thanks, Bob. I didn't know.
Good job, buddy. You Googled that fast as hell.
Navy's a 26-point underdog. Oh, geez.
Well, already picked.
I already picked. No, I'm not going back. I looked at it. I look at like the percentages of 70 to 30, and I think it's a 80-20 for them to lose. Anyway.
Oh, Notre Dame is doing what they did last year. They're in stride, bro.
Yeah.
They took those 2 knocks on the chin, and they're playing pretty good.
All right, so that does it for the LSU Alabama. Let's get to the A&M Missouri.
Gig 'em, bro.
Yeah, I'm going A&M as well.
And I'm choosing
Missouri's quarterback is in an air boot. He ain't even playing.
Yeah, I'm going A&M.
Exactly. Well, hopefully they can have
Tigers.
Young brother. I don't know. All right, Kentucky and Florida. I chose Kentucky. Who you got?
They're in Kentucky.
Yep, it's at Commonwealth. It's Al goes first.
I'm going Florida.
All right, gotcha. Matthew.
Florida's a good team. They just had some bad breaks, man. They're a good team.
I'm just hoping that
they had Georgia on their heels. I mean, they freaking.
And they've had everybody on their heels. They had A&M on their heels, but you know what they can't do? They can't fucking finish.
If that quarterback, it depends on what quarterback shows them, man. If he's playing his game, they're good. If he's not,
this is where I make up the ground on Al Hero. We're going fucking Kentucky. Go Big Blue.
Oh my goodness. Well, Kentucky's not led you wrong. I just hope that the emotional win they had, last week.
Oh, it's probably gonna fuck them, but I gotta make up ground. I'm either gonna be down 2 next week or I'm gonna be even. So
I follow them pretty close because there's consternation going on. Is the alumni, the boosters kind of want to get rid of him, but he's got an albatross of a contract, so they can't really get rid of him right now if they wanted to. So I think the Stoops name is going to be there in Kentucky for a while, and I love what he's doing, but I hope this turns the corner and they can start spending some more money on it. I never thought I'd say that about college, but I hope they start spending more money.
So here's the thing. If you look at colleges out there, LSU was like 59 million. Nah, fuck it. We got that in the bank. Get rid of his ass.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go pay the next coach 60 million. Fuck
60.
it.
Yeah.
It just it's that money, dude. Like, it's just crazy. And it is crazy where Kentucky's located in the country and what they're all around. I would think they would have more support with that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, just where they're located and what's around them. They're kind of in that area where they could generate a lot in that part of the country, but maybe they're too close to Tennessee or whatever it is, but it's not like Tennessee is like lighting the world on fire either, you know?
Yeah, Kentucky, unfortunately, is always going to be a basketball school. Like, literally growing up there, that's those
until next year.
No, I'm telling you, it does. I think it's at this point, it's a basketball school, period, and then football is really become secondary, and where it used to not even be secondary. I don't think they were much more about their cheerleaders, because the cheerleaders won all the national championships. But
not a sport.
Hopefully Kentucky football can become relevant, because I love watching them when they upset people, but it'd be nice for them to be in the upper middle of the pack as opposed to either in the middle or at the bottom.
No, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. All right. So
gone are the days of Tim Couch, buddy. Gone are the days of Tim Couch.
Andre Woodson. Yeah, I remember. Anyway.
Yeah.
EKU versus Southern Utah. I've got EKU.
I don't even know.
I know you guys have no idea who Southern Utah is, because I didn't either.
Do we know what their record is? Can somebody Google that shit real quick?
Hell no, you got to Google that yourself.
You have a phone in front of you.
My phone is in the living room.
Oh, well, looks like you're fucked. I'm Googling it right now.
Yeah, what's the record, Matt?
You know, because you told me someone's record last week.
I did, because you could have picked Air Force and I would have been one more game up on you, but I gave you Air Force.
No, dude, there was no way I was taking Air Force. I can't. That's like Ty picking Texas A&M.
Right.
It'd have to be like desperate. You know what I'm saying?
What's Southern Utah's record?
Southern Utah is. I mean, if I could find this shit.
Yeah, you're like, can't even find the college.
4-5. Both teams are 4-5.
Oh, fuck. You flip a coin.
I know, that's the thing. This one's a coin flipper.
This is the coin flipper. Let me find a coin.
Dang it, why does it keep doing that?
Because Dale Murphy's the fucking man. That's why he keeps doing that.
Fuck.
What do you think about Dale Murphy? Who was your favorite baseball player growing up, Matt?
Dale Murphy.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I grew up watching either, WGN or TBS. So it was either the Cubs or the Braves that were on every night.
Ryan Sandberg, Dale Murphy.
Ryan Sandberg was my favorite player growing up. And then Cal Ripken Jr. Cal Ripken.
Yep.
The Harry Carey and Steve Stone and Harry Carey, Skip Carey, and all them doing the Braves games, they were like the narration of my life.
Legendary, dude.
Yeah, fucking crazy. All right, so where are we at?
Coin flip. How'd it go?
Yeah, coin flip. Al.
It said I should go with EKU.
All right.
But I don't want to.
All right, what did your Google tell you, Matt?
I couldn't find their record when I Googled, so I wasn't looking hard enough. So I'm just thinking.
All right, so both 4-5.
I'll ride with you, Ty. I'll ride with EKU. Fuck it.
All right, Matthew.
I'll take Southern Utah. I got to take another chance.
Oh, man. I don't know if I'd take that one. So, all right.
I wasn't going to take the one last week, and I did.
And it worked. Who am I to tell you?
No. I'm talking about the Eastern Kentucky game.
I'm 12 games back. This is ridiculous. All right. Last game of this week, FSU and Clemson.
Go Noles, baby.
Yeah, me too. Because Clemson is horrible.
Clemson is busted. Dabo was cursing motherfuckers out.
Bro, they were
weekend.
bad. They look bad, dude.
Yeah, I can't choose Clemson over FSU. So, yeah, I got FSU as well.
All right.
All right. Well, that does it. So it does bring me to the next one. Dale Murphy is in consideration under the contemporary baseball era player ballot for 2026. So they're voting. I guess it'll come out December 13th or so. So growing up, Dale Murphy was definitely my favorite player. He's one of my heroes. I think one of his shortcomings here that he's maybe not going to get in is because he didn't break the 400 home run mark. But
yeah, but why the fuck is he not in already? Look at some people they've let go into the Hall of Fame.
I know.
Well, my argument when anybody says Dale Murphy shouldn't be in is Harold Baines is in.
That's what I'm saying.
And his WAR is a little bit better. And I can't believe that the WAR for Dale Murphy is so bad. I mean, I guess I can because all the teams he was on, other than 81, 82, 83, and then maybe a little bit in 80. I think they
yeah, but also let's go. Harold Baines, Dale Murphy, who is more important to their franchise?
Exactly. Nobody. This WAR, the I forget what WAR stands for now, but it's basically if you were to replace that player with another player, could they sustain? And nobody was going to replace Dale Murphy.
Nope.
In right field for the Braves, or when he played center field earlier.
And let's just be honest, the right field wasn't even the thing that you would have even cared about replacing with Dale Murphy. They could not get rid of his bat because that guy got on base. He wasn't a power hitter, but he got RBIs, bro. So he was a run manufacturing baseball player. He was a skilled player. So like, Dale Murphy, Robin Yount, those guys are like, they're ball players, dude. Cal Ripken, who, the guys we've named already.
So yeah, and also on this list, I didn't put him on this one, but also on this list is Don Mattingly. So Don Mattingly's up. I hope.
Bro, that's why I wish Toronto would have won.
So there's 8 players, and I forget all 8 of them because I didn't give a shit. I hope Dale Murphy gets in because I think he deserves it. So.
Did you see the World Series? Disappointed too. Don Mattingly. I did not realize until they showed the graphic. Did you watch in the game? Did you see the graphic they played for him?
No. What did they say? Don
Mattingly. That was his very first World Series appearance as a player, a coach, or anything.
Yeah.
In his career, dude. I was like, what?
He was a career captain for the Yankees.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
you remember, like, I collected baseball cards. So growing up,
I got some too.
Every year when it came out, Don Mattingly's card was going to be worth $1, and Wade Boggs' card was going to be worth $1 every year because he was one of the best players in baseball. I can't believe he's not already in. Just his career was cut short because of injury. I think he had back injuries. But yeah. Anyway, future guests who we got coming up here next week. We have White Mike Hero. So this, go ahead and wax poetic about.
God help us. So my brother, he is Army veteran, served in Iraq. I want to say 2007 or 8. I can't remember the year. Did his time as a 88 November, and then transitioned out of the Army. Had 50 jobs. I'm surprised he's not an astronaut. Now he runs a veteran business called Hero Integrated Technologies, where he hires veterans and other people, right, to do low voltage electricity. So he's running a multi-million-dollar company. He's been doing it for about 5 years and doing well. So this should be exciting. He's a fucking nutcase. So like, just stand by. I mean, obviously the picture says it all. I mean,
so what is that picture on the left? What's going on?
That was his birthday.
All right.
So
he was just pre-gaming and prepping.
Pre-gaming for his birthday, and that's how he walked around all fucking day. in a diaper, boots, and his shirt and a hat. Like, this dude is legit. And he's best friends with Kevin Cash. Obviously, we've had Kevin Cash on. They're cut from the same cloth. They both served together. Mike was it was crazy. He was in Aviano, Italy, up there, and they told him, move your family up here. And how the Army does it, move your family. You're not deploying. And like 6 weeks later, he's headed to Iraq for a year. So yeah, but yeah, it has a heart for veterans, does a lot for the community, and excited to have him on, kind of.
No, I'm excited. I know we've had a couple schedules that didn't work sometimes, but I'm really excited. I loved having your dad on and saw like how y'all interacted growing up. So it's really going to be interesting to hear his story. And I put on.
Yeah, his story's crazy. I mean, what he's done and been through, and all his. I mean, dude's had like 5 DUIs in his life and been in and out of jail, and fucking story's crazy.
Still getting up every day and fucking doing it though.
Doing it, yeah.
Better known business. And then coming up November 20th, I'll go ahead and put it out right now. Dr. Alina Fong neuropsychologist, clinical director, and co-owner of Cognitive FX. It's going to be a lot of good stuff going on there. What you say about that, Matt?
Super huge shout out to Daddy James for hooking that one up for us, man. We appreciate it. We're excited to talk to her, and I'm excited to learn more about what they do and what they're going to be able to share with our audience. So shout out there, Daddy James, making that barbecue sauce. That shit's good too, by the way.
Absolutely. All right, let me check the comments before we get out of here. Appreciate everybody watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow, and share with your friends. Just like William Huff said, if we get the word out, we get this little network together. All the organizations that we talk to are really pertinent to veteran stuff, and we have a wide network. Let's keep building that network. So like, subscribe, our YouTube channel at Triple Threat Vet Podcast. But I want to thank Frank DeMith for watching, Bob Mayer for watching. Appreciate that, brother. Always watching. You're one of the most loyal dudes of our watchers. Appreciate that. And then Amber, Doc Powell, talked about meeting up with some of her friends over the same time we lost Cribben last in 2018. So it was November 4th, I want to say. So everybody commemorates it a different way. I was in Colorado Springs with Cribben's parents, and she actually met up with someone else from 716 to remember. So like we always say, if we keep saying their name, they'll never be forgot. But Matt, go ahead and take us out, bro. I'm ready.
Yeah, just thank you everybody for showing up on another Thursday. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you want to get involved, all you got to do is reach out to a nonprofit or a veteran organization around you. At the end of the day, one that you could help out with that's trying to make a foothold in the country right now is from our guest today, William Huff. All right, the Concerned Veterans for America. If you want to make a difference, you want to help, you want to get things to make it better in the community, then just reach out, cv4a.org. We're still selling t-shirts. Y'all don't tell Al what I said about his busted ass t-shirt before he got on here today. And we love you guys. We'll see you back next week. And thank you for supporting and watching us, and just share it with somebody. Somebody needs to hear what we tell, and you never know how that can help somebody close to you. So with that, I'm out.
So like I say every week, check on somebody this week. Make sure you give somebody a call, text them, tell them you're thinking about them, do a buddy check. I've had a couple of people reach out and check on me. I appreciate it. Halloween was a great day for me. I had a couple of guys show up that I ain't seen in years, Jay Riles and some other people that just happened to be, for whatever reason, in my neighborhood. They popped in. We had like a little cheese mess reunion. It was pretty cool. And just to talk and hear their stories and talk about them and check on them out. They're still on active duty. Some of them are out, but just check on somebody, man. You don't know what it means to just get a phone call from a battle buddy or a brother and say, hey, just thinking about you. Want to tell you I loved you. Just make sure you spend some time this week checking on somebody else and making sure your buddies are doing okay.
Absolutely, man. Go to sameflagsameoath.com, buy one of these shirts, support the Texas Veteran Athletic Association, the PTSD for America Camp Hope, and Project Zero. Go to this QR code and buy some freaking shirts. Appreciate you so much. If you want to tell your story, go ahead and give us a call, or not give us a call. Go ahead and hit us up at triplethreatvets@gmail.com. Tell your story. Come on, we're live every Thursday, 7 p.m. Loved talking to Doc Powell this weekend. Love catching up with you. At some point, if anybody wants to tell their story, just remember someone that has passed, come on the show, hit us up on our social media, and we'll tell that story. Y'all have a good one till next week.
If you or someone you know is in crisis, contact the Veterans Crisis Line at 1-800-273-8255. Then press 1.